What's up, everyone? Welcome to another UFC Quick Picks here on the Mayo Media Network. We have UFC 293 on Saturday. Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland in the main event. Should be a fun one. It's not the best name value card here, but we have a lot of fights projected to end inside the distance. I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring slate. I'm going to give you my favorite cash game play, tournament play, salary play, and a matchup I like from a DraftKings perspective. Before I do, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below why don't you give me your favorite underdog on this slate. There's not a lot that I'm like excited about or confident in, to be quite honest. So if you do have an underdog that stands out and they win, I think that's going to help separate you from the field. Always curious to hear y'all opinions. Let's move on to my cash game play of the week, which is going to be Jack Jenkins at 8.7K. All right, I'm rolling with Jack Jenkins in cash this week at 8.7K, which is pretty, I would say, abnormal from like a traditional pick that I give out. But man, Israel Adesanya at 9.7K, he's fine. I'm not necessarily going to prioritize him on this slate given the price tag, and there's not a ton of value options. Jenkins at 8.7, I just think is kind of a good combination of pricing and floor and safety. He's minus 207 to win against Jose Chepe Mariscal. And what I like about Jenkins is that he can strike and he can grapple. He averages more than 3 takedowns per 15 minutes. He's landed 4 takedowns in 2 of his last 3 fights, coming off a close win against Jamal Emmers in which he didn't score very well. But Jamal Emmers is good. And I didn't think Jenkins was going to have success in that fight, and he had more success than I thought he would, to be quite honest. Mariscal is definitely a step down from Emmers. And Mariscal is a decent fighter himself, but Jenkins, I like Jenkins' wrestling. I really like Jenkins' leg kicking ability, and that can change the fight dynamic. And he's just a decent, well-rounded fighter. Again, minus 200 plus to win, plus 225 to win inside the distance, and you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for him. You get below Jenkins in price, you have Kevin Jousset and Shane Young and Turk Cali, who are much riskier options, I would say. And then even above Jenkins, you have Alexander Volkov. That's a risky fight against Tuivasa. Jamie Malarkey, Justin Taffa. I like Jenkins' combination of grappling, consistent striking, his just overall talent. I like his odds to win. Still some finishing upside at plus 225 inside the distance. 8.7K is not an extreme price to pay. So I think he rates out pretty well as a cash game option this week. Up next, my tournament play of the week. Let's go with Charlie Chuck Buffalo Radke, priced at 9.1K, fighting Mike Blood Diamond Mathetha. This is just an insane battle of nicknames here. And the reason why I like Radke mostly is because Blood Diamond has just not shown to be good on the ground. He's a kickboxer, and he is not a grappler, and he has been having a really hard time on the ground. That's the only way to phrase it. He was submitted quickly by Jeremiah Wells, taken down and held down by Orion Kosi. Charlie Radke is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a jiu-jitsu coach, and if he gets on top of Blood Diamond, I think he's going to finish him. He is minus 135 to win inside the distance. 9.1K, it's not an extreme price to pay. The real issue with Chuck Buffalo here is that he likes to strike, and that's the concern I have, is that despite knowing that Blood Diamond has a kickboxing background, once the fight's standing, is terrible on the ground, that Radke's going to go out there and try and prove himself as a striker, and that's just going to tilt the crap out of me, to be completely honest. But it's a possibility. I've said it in the world. I think it's pretty clear on tape. He likes to box. He's not a bad boxer, though. I still think he could be competitive with Blood Diamond there. And just ultimately, if he gets the fight on the ground at all, I think he's a way better grappler. He has a ton of finishing upside there. Good inside distance line on this fight. 9.1K, I like the price tag. I have to bet against Blood Diamond, against anyone competent on the ground, which Radke is. It could lead to a finish, could lead to a high score at 9.1K. He'll be my tournament play of the week. All right, moving on to my salary play of the week. Going to go with Gabriel Miranda at 7.6K. This is another risky fight. Miranda's plus 142 to win against Shane Young, and he's kind of a submission or bust guy coming off a dominant loss to Benoit Saint-Denis in his UFC debut. And I think Shane Young probably beats him here, but Shane Young's lost 3 in a row. Yeah, it's not particularly good. He's an adequate striker, but he gets hit more often than he lands strikes. Not a great defensive wrestler, 65% takedown defense. I think he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. Gabriel Miranda is very aggressive, needs to fight on the ground, is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. All of his wins come by submission. They pretty much all come early. So that's kind of his path to victory here. Do I think he's for sure going to submit Shane Young early? No. But at 7.6K, I am willing to take chances on him. I mean, he's only plus 142 to win. He's plus 155 to win inside the distance. That is a really, really good ITD line. And if Miranda wins, he is going to put up a very big score. I mean, that's what I like most. I really like the style, the aggressive grappling against an opponent who's not especially strong on the ground. So if Miranda doesn't win by early submission, there's a good chance he gets knocked out. And I think Shane Young's a pretty good leverage target for that reason. But Shane Young's 8.6K and Miranda's 7.6K, and we need salary savings, and I just love the upside here, the theoretical upside. So I'm going to buy into that, the ITD line, the grappling style, and roll with some Gabriel Miranda at 7.6K this week. Finally, my matchup of the week, I am rolling with the mid-range fight here in Tyson Pedro versus Anton Turkalj. It's a pick'em, minus 107 on both sides. I think the winner projects quite well. Turkalj is the better fighter in extended matchups. Tyson Pedro, I don't think, has ever even won a fight outside of round 1. He has won 5 times in the UFC. All have come in round 1 finishes. Turkalj, in 2 of his last 3 fights, he's landed 11 and 5 takedowns. He's just kind of a grinder. He's just so bad defensively, though. He's not even great offensively, but he's really hittable. He doesn't have good wrestling defense. He was submitted in round 1 by Gelton Almeida. But, I mean, if he just goes out there and grinds on Pedro for 3 rounds, he probably wins because Pedro just fades after round 1 and doesn't really produce a lot of offense, and that's kind of Turkalj's game. So I like Turkalj in that sense. He's also plus 175 to win inside the distance. Pedro is my preferred option because I think he has much more first round finish equity. Plus 140 to win inside the distance. Like I said, Turkalj is very, very hittable. He also doesn't have wrestling defense. All of Pedro's wins come in round 1. I think he's going to have success in round 1 here, and it could translate to a finish. And at 8K, I mean, he has a ton of tournament upside. I really like this fight as a whole. The winner projects very well no matter who it is. I do prefer Pedro because of the first round finishing upside, but Turkalj landing 6+ takedowns over 15 minutes is certainly going to score well as well. So great matchup there to target in the mid-range. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week's UFC Quick Picks. Thank you so much for the support. You can follow me on Twitter, Brett Appley, _T_P, dailyfanmma.com for all your DraftKings breakdowns needs. Best of luck in your contest this week. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.